Hey there, it's Chris from the Laurel Wind Project, and I went and just finished that Palmerton Super today. So we got our hardware, we made it through, we somehow survived. It was definitely this was definitely a thing this year. Now, before we get into the recap and everything, just a couple little back of house things. I don't want to rehash what I just put over in the previous video, what I had the expectations going in, how to read the course map and stuff. So if you want to see where my mind was leading into the race and the thought process I had going or attempting some of the stuff, I'll put a link to the other video in the description. At the same time, I want to thank my parents so much for showing up to this race and taking the videos that they did because I did not have a GoPro on me at the time. And if you're interested in seeing some of those, I'm going to have a little discussion part first, then I'll put the videos at the end. So I'll put a timestamp when the videos start in the description. So if you want to see those, you can just skip right to it, and that will be that. That said, uh, yeah, I meant to do this video, or my intention was to do this video at the site right after after the race, kind of everything is still fresh in the head and all the mindset kind of good to go and get the atmosphere and all that. However, I don't have a picture of me after finishing the race, but I do have one from a couple years before that I think fits the bill pretty well. And after this race, I probably looked something like this. This is from Vernon from a number of years ago, after just another one of those. Every now and again, you just get those races that just like, poof, they just knock you out. There's no coming back. So this one, after the finish, between the finish line and getting the timing chip cut off your wrist, I pretty much collapsed on the ground and couldn't walk for a couple minutes. Got the timing chip off, made it halfway across the area to get the t-shirt, and pretty much went to the medical tent. Had to sit there. They had chairs there, so sat down in a chair for a few more minutes. Realized heat index is like 95 right now. It was like 10:30 or something when heat index is like 95. It's like, let's go to the air-conditioned car. I can sit here, it's not helping. We got about 20 yards, back on the ground again. All right, we're gonna try a fourth time. Got up, made it through the merchandise tent, had to sit down for like another 5 minutes before I can finally had the energy to get to the car. I've had bad, I've never had heat stroke, but I've had bad dehydration before, and this is probably about as I've ever had in my life. So there was no way I was going to do a video recap afterwards. So I'm back home. We're doing better now. I had a good meal. Had kind of slept a little bit afterwards, and all right, we're back at this. We're feeling a lot better. But whew, this one hit. This one hit. So I said we're not going to go back to the other video. However, we are going to go to the map thing real quick. I'm making hands gestures, which mean nothing when the map is up here. And for this, we're just going to go over, there are really 5 areas that I want to cover real quick in terms of how to review this. There are a number of ways to review it. So in order to, especially on the East Coast, like the East Coast races that we have around here, there are really 3 factors you have to take into account. So one is the weather. What was the weather like? Number 2, I can't spell. Okay, the inclines. Again, if you're on the East Coast, there are a lot of, or at least the Northeast, there are a lot of hilly courses. And 3, if you have the inclines, how are the declines? Number $. Okay, number 4. Of course, we have the obstacles. And number 5 is the wild card. And I'm going to come back to, I'm still using a touchpad. I don't know why I have a mouse. Use the touchpad. Whatever. My definition of wildcard, again, I had the wildcard in the other one. My wildcard definition for the review here is usually, not every time, but on a, let me say disproportionate number of times, something happens on a race that's either like, it's notable, it just like it changes the way you see. It's like what your mind goes to when you go to a race. I mean, I've seen bears and stuff on the course before. It can be something as notable as that, or it could be something happened that may change the way you're running afterwards. as I'd said in the other video when I was doing a descent, and a branch on the ground went and speared through the side of my glove that kind of has you start second guessing how you go down hills and whatnot. I see my webcam decided to go blurry. That's awesome. Or I've had other times too where like both of my forearms, just like usually at the end of like the ultras that I've done, like the forearms just give out. You try to do like a rope climb or herc hoist, it just you got nothing. You go up like halfway and it just stops. And the, sometimes, yeah, that's what I'm going to call the wild card stuff you don't plan for. You don't know. You don't even. There's no way to plan for things. Is going to be the wild card. So the first part, going back to the map, is we had actually. You know what? That's good. No. Where's our pointer? I want the pointer. That's not the pointer. The brush is the pointer. In terms of this one, I did have wildcard moments, and I'm just gonna highlight this whole area for my wildcard moment. So essentially, when we get to the obstacle portion, I'll go over the wildcard because the two are kind of interlinked. But first, the weather. The weather was for zoom camera zoom. The weather was for lack of better terms, it was Jurassic Park. You walked in, it was supposed to be, there's a chance of thunderstorms in the morning. It kind of moved out as time went on. So we had an overcast night and we had the mist. You couldn't even see the top of the mountain at the start of the day when we kind of got there. And even towards the top looking down, it was a hazy view. So what that did was it may have kept the sun away, but it kept the humidity in. So it was like 100% humidity for like the first 3 or 4 miles up until the second time up the hill. It started breaking around the time I got to the sandbag carry, but for both climbs, it was like 100% humidity. And the first climb wasn't terrible. I was a couple minutes slower than I was the previous year. I wasn't trying to kill myself on that, and you'll even see in the videos I was actually smiling when I got to the top of the hill, which that didn't last long. But after Olympus at the bottom, I was just drenched, and because it's humidity, the moisture wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't doing anything. It wasn't helping. And so in order to keep myself cool, the heart rate had to basically stay up to keep pumping the blood out and trying to, well, I couldn't keep my heart rate down for about 1.5 miles. So I was probably like 180, whatever beats per minute. I didn't have the heart rate monitor on me at the time, but I know what the feels are. And I was probably about 180 the entire way up that second hill. And like I would go up like 30 feet and have to stop. I would go up like 30 vertical feet and have to stop for a second because my heart just could not take that the entire way. So, okay, we're talking about the inclines now. But yeah, my heart just could not. It's not like I was hurting. It's not like it was sore. It just, my heart couldn't take it. It was just too much, which is kind of a shame because I'm kind of using, or my master plan was I've done Palmerton a lot. I've actually done 4 other times. I mentioned it was 3. I forgot I did 2021 as well. Whoops. That was a good race. That was a fun one too. But yeah, I've done a lot of like the Vernon and Palmerton ones. And so I'm signed up for Killington this year. And this was going to be my test just to kind of see where I am on the hills, how my quads are doing and all this. Just to kind of get a feel for where we are training wise. And frankly, because of this heat problem that I have, I think the results are incomplete. I was terrible on this course on the hills. Last time I went, I didn't stop at all on the second hill. This time I stopped like 15, 20 times. They weren't long stops, but it was like you see like a tree like 20 feet up, and you're like, all right, just get to that tree, and I can sit down for a sec. I can get to that tree, I can sit down for a sec. Like I said, my heart rate was just hummingbird the whole time. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. But I'm going to say, as a result of prep work for Killington, this is inconclusive. I'm going to find out in about 2 days. If I was killed solely by the humidity and whatnot, then then on Monday when I go to work, I should feel fine. And that's what I'm hoping for. If I go into work on Monday, and I'm saying Monday, when I was like in my teens and 20s, I would feel sore the next day. Now that I've gotten older, it takes about a day for the actual soreness to hit. Somebody out there who's watching this will be able to explain medically why that is. I don't know. It takes me about 2 days to figure out how sore I actually am. So tomorrow I should be fine. Monday I'm going to find out. If my quads and my calves and all that are just completely fried when I go to work on Monday, that tells me that was a muscle issue that was causing this problem, that was causing these problems. And that's going to be something I need to work on and look forward towards the Killington one. But I'm hoping this was solely a matter of the heat. Because again, I'm one of those guys, if it's 25 degrees out in the middle of January, I'm running outside in shorts. I feel perfectly fine on that. You get above 70 degrees, my heart just my body just starts to break down. So this is my worst case scenario run. So I'm hoping that's all that was. But yeah, no, all the uphills were slow as dirt. Then we made it through, but they were slow as dirt. That said, if we come back to this guy here and we want to go into the decline, I'm pointing at the wrong screen. I'm pointing at OBS. I'm not pointing at this. But that's turn the inclines. The declines, this is where I'm super glad I brought those gloves because these declines are steep. They're, again, the first one, they're kind of nice little rocky trails you can go down. You can generally jog and run those pretty well. We have a nature preserve not far from me that it almost matches that to a T. And so I'm just used to flying over those types of rocks and stuff. And I have good eye-hand coordination. It's great. I love trail running. That part's good. But there are a number of spots. There are a lot of spots, especially on the second decline, some on the first, where basically you look down like a little gully and you go, there's a tree like right over there, maybe 10 feet down. I know as soon as I take a step off of this little section I'm on, I'm going to slide down this hill and there's no way to avoid it. And I just need to make sure I grab onto that tree at the bottom. So once again, as I said in the other video, that is why I wear the gloves that I wear. Because otherwise, yeah, you can very easily destroy your hands on some of these downhills. Some of them, you really are just aiming for a tree and using that to stop you from falling over. And I'm generally not the super fastest descender. Because, again, I know if I get injured, work stuff can be problems. So I've gotten older, I have a brain now, and that kind of hurts some risk taking. But yeah, the declines are the inclines are crazy on this. The declines are even more crazy. And even going back to if we go back to the map on the incline side, I know in the last video I had said down here, according to the map, was the steep part. Actually, it was pretty much this entire section up. This actually wasn't too bad. It's when you turned away from the road is where it got pretty terrible. But yeah, so generally speaking, the course kicked my butt. But at the same time, the obstacles were a different story. Because really up until the final gauntlet, I didn't fail anything. I got Twister, I got Olympus, I got the Stairway to Sparta, which I felt really bad. I had like one of those Biff Bender flex guys right in front of me in a lane on the Stairway to Sparta, and he tried to get two handholds up because I guess what used to be called Beast Mode Stairway to Sparta is now the standard. Because again, I haven't done a race this year. This is my first race this year, so maybe this is the standard now. But where you have just the panel on the bottom, you have the grips, they're in the next panel up, and then you have like the stairway part up top above that. And I had this big, strong, like definitely gym kind of guy in front of me. He got like two up and just couldn't do it. And of course, I'm like 150-pound me because I have the running background. I show up and right up and over, like no problem. It's super easy because yeah, I feel bad. My job does that. It's, again, I'm a builder doing very quick bursts of physical activity is generally I've been doing the last 20 years of my job. Like you need to unload concrete, you need to unload boards, you need to unload tile stuff. All of a sudden you're doing whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden real quick you pop on over, head over to the truck and just like beast out wherever you need to. So obstacles for me generally aren't too terrible because I'm just used to doing short bursts of like really intense activity. It's the climbs that kill me. Or not the climbs, the like the carries and stuff are the things that tend to kill me because they're more prolonged activities. But no, up until I believe ape hanger was the first thing I actually failed, and that was I was so dehydrated and whatnot at that point. I saw how long it was. I got like 2 or 3 rungs into it, and it was just like executive decision. Like, no, we got to bail on this one. But that being said, I'm not going to go over too much the obstacle things. But my parents did show up, and again, I'm really glad they did. And they took a number of videos. I think I'm like 8 or 9 different obstacles they were able to see throughout the course. So I'm just going to sit back and play the videos for you guys. So we're going to let these do the talking to kind of give the idea that it is. Again, I do the age group running, I don't do the open. So it may look like there aren't that many people in the frame, so it may or may not match what you have, what your memory of the courses are if you did it. But this is what I saw in the morning as we went through. And I tried to audio balance this, so I'm going to cross my fingers it actually worked. And yeah, here we go.
Coming up the hill for the first time.
So where's the ice cream?
The inverted and the monkey bars are switched.
I see the map has changed.
Yes.
The map has changed.
These are not monkey bars.
I'm still so happy at the top of this first hill. And they
that's the
flip-flopped the
inverted
monkey
wall.
bars and the
The
inverted
original
wall.
map said these would be monkey bars.
Wasn't expecting this.
So this is the first time up. And now
Now we go.
they start going back down the hill.
Down the hill again.
And there they are heading around.
All right, now we head back down, and then when we come back up, we have the Atlas carry.
Let's see, it's an hour and 35 minutes in.
No failures. It's one of those zero energy days.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Sandbag's gotta be rough.
where you gonna be? Pick one. Pick a good one.
And if you've never seen it before, if you're one of my family members who hasn't seen this, the stones weigh about 100 pounds, give or take.
Yay! The guy went through here, be barefooted.
Let's see, we got
now we're up to the monkey bar.
just a few yards from that.
Pardon me? Yeah, it goes down that way, and then the sandbag carries on.
And then is at the end?
You got from here. You got about 1.25 miles.
Till the end.
Yeah.
Right here.
Ah.
I just throw. I can pick it up from the ground.
Oh,
And the sandbag.
these helped a lot.
No, blueberry. Oh. I saw you got blueberry. I think blueberries really help more than.
I do not like raisins.
How about blueberries?
I gotta go.
All right. Say go,
So
Grampy,
Uncle
go.
Austin, Grampy said go.
And those are 60-pound sandbags, as you can see on a double black diamond ski slope.
Come on. Let's go find Uncle Austin.
Fuck.
And coming back up.
At the end of the sandbag.
You're hanging in there, Chris. You're doing good. Yeah, Sydney.
It's the worst of it.
Ends in sight.
You can do it. You can do it. We're proud of you.
Better you than me. It's all.
Make it up that other hill.
Yeah, this is brutal.
I know.
That's the other thing. Down the hill.
I know. Well, I'm going to skip 2 on the side, I think, because I have 2 more runners coming still. So.
Okay, so if you want a better idea of how steep or whatever that hill is, when my parents were taking the chairlift back down, they managed to capture a nice little image here, just to kind of give you an idea of what the sandbag is. You can see, you can't even see the bottom of this, and there are already people sitting on the side. But a 60-pound sandbag, and that is what we're dealing with heading up the hill. This hill just does not stop. It is so big. But it is what the course is known for. This is what the course is famous for, is this sandbag carry, and it lived up to itself this time. It really did. I was so dehydrated going into that. I stopped several times over on that one, but we ultimately made it. We made it to the finish, but it was a trial. So now we came back down the hill. We did a bunch of other things and kind of come back into that kind of the final kind of gauntlet of stuff in which
This is the sled pull, which they have to pull it up and then they pull it down. Chris should be coming down to this pretty soon, but I'm not sure I'll be able to pick him up. So I just figured I'd get a little.
I don't care how the day went, I got the spear.
Oh, you got it.
That's all that counts. Oh yeah. Kendall! You got this. Got this. Dude, you got 3 obstacles yet. You got this. Go.
all right. And before I get to the next part, I said I've circled the very bottom of the map there for the wild card. The barbed wire crawl was my wild card of this course, because what happened is I got about halfway through and I think it was my left quad or my left hamstring cramped up completely. If I tried to move it, tried to bend it, it just straight up hurt. And then I went under like 2 barbs, just kind of crawling and using my other one. And then that one went as well. And so what I wound up with is me just sitting there on the side like a beached whale, and I just could not move for it felt like 5 minutes or so. It was probably like maybe 2 or 3 at the most. It felt like it was forever. But I was just at a point where both quads, or both hamstrings, just 100%, they gave out. I've never had that one happen before to me in my life. My arms have gone out before. I've never had both hamstrings go out at the same time. They both cramped up completely. And that killed the last couple obstacles. I did the Z wall. I made it around the bend, and I was kind of doing the easy part, the easy transfer of the Z, and all of a sudden I was on the ground. I don't know what happened. As far as I can tell, my leg just probably gave out because, again, I had 2 really bad quads at that point, and I don't know what happened. I was just up 1 second, down the next, and I couldn't tell you what happened on that one. Went to do the rope climb. Usually, I grew up with a rope swing in the backyard. We lived kind of out in the country, and so rope climbing is easy. It is one of the easiest things I can do. I just grew up with that. I'm so used to it. It's great. I went to pinch the rope between my feet, and I had nothing. I could not pinch the rope at all. And this is one of the few that actually really shocked me in the end, was I got nothing on that rope. So I failed the Z wall, I failed the rope, And then we have the multi-rig here.
Now it's the multi-rig as the last major obstacle.
And what happened there was when I did the swing, when I was coming off the pole, there wasn't enough space between the pole and the ring to really give it a good swing. And when I finally did, and then went to reach for the next ring, I only got like 2 of the fingers on there. These 2 fingers didn't, when I went to grab, they didn't hit the ring. So I was holding on by 2 fingers and my thumb. And I just couldn't get a grip, so I had to re-grip back to the first one. And then when I tried to swing back to the next, because I lost the momentum from everything, I needed to do a pull-up to be able to reach high enough to reach that final ring. And I just didn't do the pull-up. I thought I had enough momentum to reach it. I didn't do the actual full pull-up like I should have to counteract the lack of momentum. I missed the ring and fell, and that's all that happened there. And then immediately after, we had our fire drills. And I turned that little corner right at the finish line. I kind of turned that corner and instantly collapsed as a puddle on the ground. And I couldn't even walk to the place to get rid of the timing chip. Like I said, I pretty much collapsed like 4 times after this, and it was. I think the course is fair. I think this is just in terms of the weather stuff, I think it was mostly this weather. It was like the 100% humidity just absolutely destroyed everything. Otherwise, the course itself was fine. I had no problem with the course layout. I thought the layout was okay. Again, that was fine. But it's just, this was one of those, it was the weather. It could have been my own fitness stuff, but I think it was between that and it was a tale of 100% humidity. And like by the end, I think it was pretty dang close to 95% heat index. I think the humidity finally broke about halfway through this. So anybody who's doing the race later in the day probably had just straight up heat. Because again, by then the clouds dissipated and the sun came down. So it was probably just as bad as them for different reasons. But it's just the way this race turned out this time. So you get good ones, you get bad ones. Like I said, we'll see in a couple days how I feel. I'm hoping the legs don't feel terrible, in which case this was just a heat-related snafu that I had, and my quest for Killington is still, cross my fingers, intact, and I'm still halfway in a decent place. But we're going to find out in a couple days. But yeah, that is my recap on the race. Hope you'd enjoyed it. And coming up next on this channel is going to be kind of start working towards the conclusion of the Bang Shishigami project. Again, we finished modeling it out, and we're down to the painting phase now. So that should just take maybe I'm guessing around 2 weeks to finish that. And then I might take a couple of weeks off, do something else just to prevent burnout on the modeling stuff. And then I'll come back with another one. Actually, I'll probably go over choices after the other one sometime in the painting process. But yeah, then we'll get back towards that later. And I do want to get more fitness stuff into this channel. Again, right now it's just been the modeling stuff. So I'll try to work out maybe in the next couple weeks how I can get more kind of fitness things in here, whether it's like putting GoPro on for bike rides or like some of the trail runs I do or whatnot. I'll try to find some way to fit that in. But we'll come to that when we come to that. I don't have any hard plans yet, but I would like to get more of that on this channel. But in any event, hope you'd enjoyed, and until next time, well, enjoy.